All right, what's up, guys? Doug here with Kodiak Guns. If you can't tell with the last couple videos, I'm doing multiple videos today, so don't mind the lack of change of clothes. I do actually shower, and I do actually change my clothes. All right, so today's topic, does budget ARs, are they good for home defense? So immediately right out the gate, I know there's a lot of people going, no, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. Your life's worth more than that. And I agree. But it also depends on what you call budget. It's not their Saber line, but this is a PSA. It's a little bit nicer upper, a little bit higher and lower. It's not their base model. But even so, you got to vet your gear, right? So do I think that just because I buy a Daniel Defense that it's going to work every time? Hang on a second. So just because this is a cheaper AR, and it is, right? In comparison, this setup right here with the dot magnifier, you got your backup iron sights, you got a pressure pad, you got a light, you got the nice brace on here. So single point sling, because it's a pistol for home defense, so that's why I run the single there. With all of this, right, you're looking at a little over $1,000 setup just to buy one of those higher end, before you get into the optics, before you get into any of this, before you get, it's $2,000. I can do a lot of training with $1,000 worth of ammo. So here's my thing with that. Do they suck? I don't think so, but here's the way to tell. Get yourself some ammo, load it up, make sure your dot's on, and then vet your gear. So, and is that vetting your gear? No. But this thing didn't become the home defense setup until it had, I don't know, probably about 1,000 rounds through it. And then I could say, okay. It's fun. So, does that make it vetted? 1 mag? No. 30 mags? Now we're getting somewhere, right? You talk about having 6, 7, 8, 900 rounds, 1,000 rounds through your gear. Okay, now I can trust that. I can trust that it's not going to just randomly jam, right? Any more than anything else is. Why? Because if you buy a Daniel Defense and you don't vet that, you're dumb. You might not like that because, oh no, I just buy quality and I blah, 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 blah. And I don't, no shade on Daniel Defense. I love them. They're fantastic ARs. They are what they are for a reason. But it's still a manufactured product. I am not in the financial position to be able to afford the $2,000 AR and then another $1,000 on ammo and optics. But $1,000 setup and then spending a little bit of money on ammo to train with over and over and over again, that's something that I can do. That's something that most people can do. Because if you set some money aside, buy that setup, and I got this thing, hold on, I got that thing used. So I paid, this brand new is going to cost you that. I paid $600 for this setup, as it is. $600 for the setup. Then I went out and I vetted the system before it became my home defense setup. So $600. If you didn't know, that those two things and that brace are more than $600. So I basically got a bunch of stuff with a free PSA gun on, because the gun's about $600, give or take. So actually I think that one you can get for $5. But still, point being, that's a setup, even brand new, that people are more reasonably able to afford than going and getting a $2,000, $2,500 AR and then spending another, $700 on $600 on equipment and then go and buy ammo, right? You're $3,000 into it before you started, right? find something like that, find you a deal that you can vet. Again, bought it. Then I went and I put a bunch of rounds through it to make sure the thing would work and run well. Keep it lubricated, and it goes great. And if you don't do that with your expensive ARs, again, you're dumb. You're trusting a name as opposed to trusting the piece of equipment you bought. I trust the equipment I buy because I vet it. I go and shoot it over and over and over again. If it's going to be in a designated role, right? Like if I have a gun like this, I don't carry this gun. This is a competition gun. This is fun. I have this for fun because I like guns and I like to shoot, right? That is not a gun that I really care to vet as far as, yeah, when I take it to competitions, I want it to shoot well. But this has a designated spot in my house it sits that I can use to defend my family with. That tool gets vetted, right? This one over here, Shadow Systems MR920. That got vetted. Why? I carry that every day. That thing is almost always on me. I vetted that. So, moral of the story. Do budget ARs suck? Well, they can. And is it more likely that a budget AR you'll have problems with? More likely, yes. But second and third gen Palmetto State Armory, yeah, it'll be all right. Just saying. So, do you think this is a problem? Do you think? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Nobody's out here saying that this is just as good. What I'm saying is I bought this and then vetted it to make sure it wasn't a problem. That's the kind of stuff you need to do. So let me know in the comments what you think, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to look at, and how you go about vetting your gear. Like, comment, subscribe if you would. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.